Welcome to our COVID-19 survival kit guide. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make Mexican meatball soup. It's very easy. This is about 5 pounds of ground beef. I have 8 children, so I need to make a lot. But normally for a family of 4, family of 6, you're going to want to use anywhere from 2 to 4 pounds of meat. I have 2 diced up jalapenos here. I have 4 diced up tomatoes. I have 1.5 onions diced up. I have about 1.5 cups of rice. I use jasmine rice. You can use whatever rice you want. I have about 6 garlic cloves chopped up. I've got, I don't know, maybe about a cup of cilantro. You're gonna need a can of chipotles, oregano, salt, pepper, some seasoning of your choice. And then over here, we have about 7 or 8 tomatoes filled with water, and I'm going to show you what we're going to use that for in just a few minutes. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to empty out probably about half of these onions in here. This is going to be kind of like the seasoning of the meal. It's what I season everything with. It's composed of tomatoes, onions, and jalapenos. Okay, and then once that's in there, we're going to put a little bit of salt. So for all of you people who cook and don't measure, you know how it is. But for those of you who do measure, I probably put about a tablespoon of salt in here. Now we're just gonna let this cook real nice until it's just like this little saucy thing. All right, so then for the meat, you're gonna need 2 eggs. I forgot to say that. And then you're just gonna kind of empty everything in here. So we're gonna put our garlic in here. We're gonna put our onions in here. I love onions. My family loves onions. It really just depends on you guys how much onion you need, but you really just need it for the flavor. We're gonna put all of our cilantro in here. We're gonna put all of the rice in here. Then we're gonna put some pepper. Again, I don't know how to measure, but it's probably about a teaspoon of pepper. Now I'm using a teaspoon of pepper for 5 pounds of meat. So you want to use probably half that if you're going to cook half. And then I'm just going to sprinkle some oregano, and then I'm going to put some of my seasoning in here. Now it's really important that your meat has good flavor. It's a lot of meat, so I'm putting a lot of seasoning in here. I'm going to put some salt in here as well. Then I'm going to crack my eggs in here. Now I'm going to mix. All right, so we're just gonna beat this up real good. I've already tasted it. It has good flavor. Everything's mixed together. We're ready to make our balls. Okay, so now we're gonna check on this. It's still cooking. You wanna make sure that it cooks real good because it does make a difference if everything is fully cooked and if it's not fully cooked. And this is not fully cooked, guys, okay? So you gotta wait till it's fully cooked. Now, this is supposed to be an easy meal it's a delicious meal. It's literally one of my kids' favorite meals. Like right now, they're dying. They're so excited that they cannot wait to eat. And then some of the stuff you can remove. Of course, the jalapenos, if you don't eat spicy, you can remove it. It's fine. It doesn't make a difference. We like spicy, so that gives it that spicy flavor. But the onions, the tomatoes, it's essential. The salt, it's essential. The garlic, it's all essential. Of course, the garlic, you want to measure. If you don't like too much garlic, that's fine too. It's all however you guys want to make it, but this is kind of the basics. So now we're going to come over here. So we've got like 8 tomatoes in here. You're supposed to use the tomato seasoning, but I am completely out and I forgot to buy some. So I'm going to use chicken broth. And then this is going to be what gives the soup flavor. So you want to make sure that it's really, really blended really well. This is what gives your soup, your broth, the flavor. Again, I would have used the tomato seasoning, but I didn't have any. So I used chicken seasoning, but same thing. So now we're going to get started with our meatballs. You can make them big, you can make them small, you can really make them however you want. I'm just going to make them medium sized because my kids like quantity, not size. So if I give them 3 in their soup, they're happier than if I give them 1 really big one. I'm just going to make some balls here. is pretty much ready. All blended well. It's really soft and mushy already. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add our soup. I'm gonna let this fry real good, boil, whatever you wanna call it. Kind of get the seasonings all together and the flavors, they're gonna kind of mix together real good. We're just gonna let that sit there for a minute or two. All right, so I'm smelling it. This is how I cook. I smell it and it still smells really raw, so I wanna wait until it smells cooked. I know it probably sounds weird to the regular human ear, but if it's not cooked, it just ain't ready, and I can just smell it. So here I filled up the blender with water. We're gonna add water to this because we still need more water in there. It's very concentrated, so all of the flavor is there, but we need more water to lessen the salt. And then of course, it's gonna go with all these meatballs. So these meatballs should be covered in water. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add the water now that it's boiling. And another one. Now we're gonna let this boil real well. One more. All right, so here we have our broth is boiling. We are going to go ahead and start adding our meatballs in here. We're just gonna drop them in. All right, so now that it's boiling, I added some chipotle peppers, but I'm gonna add a couple more. I'm gonna try and just get the juice in here. You wanna just add, you know, however many you want, depending on how spicy you want it. These are spicy, so I do wanna make sure you guys know that. These are spicy, so I like to let them cook in there real good with the soup, just to make sure it gets that good flavor. I'm gonna add a little bit more salt. I don't feel like it's spicy at all, so I'm just gonna add them all. My kids eat spicy, so. Okay, so now we're just gonna let it cook. All right, so I like to take the chiles out because I just don't like to keep them in there. So I take them out. You don't have to take them out, but it's up to you. So I'm gonna start taking these out. I'm gonna start taking these out because I just don't like to keep them in there. You don't have to. You can leave them in there if you like it, but I don't. So I'm gonna take them out. All right, so everybody can do it however they want, okay? I like to drop eggs in there. The reason I drop eggs in there is because it's really yummy. I don't know. You can also make this with just eggs and not any meat. But literally all you're gonna do is you're just gonna drop them in there. You're not gonna move it anymore. You're not gonna mix it up. You're just gonna drop the eggs and let them boil in there. All right, so I just added a few eggs in there. I'm gonna let it boil and I'm just gonna let it finish cooking. And I'm gonna cover it. So the way that I like to check if my albondigas are ready is I just grab one. At this point, because we've already added the egg, I don't like to mix it so that the eggs are like nice and solid. We can see our rice is cooked and the meatballs are ready. So I'm not gonna mix it up too much. As you can see, our eggs are also fully cooked and they're in its entirety, which is awesome. That's exactly what we want. So we're gonna go ahead and turn this off. We're warming up our tortillas. We'll be ready to serve in just a minute. Enjoy this meal. It's super quick and easy, and it's really delicious. Have a good day. Bye-bye.